Hello guys, my name is Brezel. I'm a student in Business Information Systems in Berlin, and today I want to give you some advices why you shouldn't properly study Business Information Systems. But before we start the video, like always, if you like the video and if you say, hey, I got the content I need, this is something I want to share, I want to support this channel, it costs you nothing to subscribe right now, to leave a like. And like always, if you have billions of trillions of billions of questions, you can always ask them. So let's start with the video. Reason number one, you want to study Business Information Systems because you have heard a lot about the study, but you actually don't have any goal with this degree. For me, for example, I live in Germany. For me, studying luckily costs absolutely nothing, and the only thing I have to care as a student is only to take care about the living costs I have to pay. But if you're unlucky and if you're someone who has to pay like 100,000 and more of dollars to study, then you should definitely think 10 times about it to study Business Information Systems, especially if you don't know what kind of goal do I want to achieve with this degree. Second reason, Business Information Systems is separated in 50% into economics, the other 50% into informatics. And if you don't like economics, and if you say, hey, economics is something dry for me, it is a lot of theory, I don't like theory, the topics are boring, I have good news for you in this case. If you're someone who is strong in memory learning, so you're somebody who has no problems to sit down, to put all the knowledge into his brain and then to write it down on a piece of paper, you won't have any difficulties to pass the economic modules. But from my own experience and from the experience of other students I'm talking to during my studies, and in most cases why people fail in Business Information Systems, also why people fail in computer science, for example, is simply because the models, the subjects in informatics are too difficult. And if you have no interest into computer science, then you should definitely not start your studies Business Information Systems, because the chances are really high that you will probably fail, and you should definitely spend your money for a better opportunity and only decide to study Business Information Systems if you really have the interest to learn about more programming, because if you do so, you definitely will learn a lot. The third reason, this is like also one of the most common reasons I hear from people who have the interest to study computer science, to study Business Information Systems. They say, I have to do this kind of degree, I want to achieve this degree because the job opportunities are huge and I'm gonna have like an amazing salary and the job security is amazing and whatever. So the thing is like this is just my opinion, it depends on you how you see the world, but in my own opinion there are no real securities in life. There are only opportunities which are connected with possibilities for a certain outcome you want to achieve. Sure, when you study Business Information Systems, you will have better opportunities than someone with another degree, this is true, but it doesn't mean that everybody, every company will open their arms and they will say, hey, finally you have applied, we have been waiting since 102 years till we have found you, finally we could find you, if you know what I mean. So from my own experience, I have tried to find a work as a working student here in Berlin. I have written 10 applications, 3 of them I had like positive responses, 4 of them I had like negative responses, this is 4, okay, not this, and the other applications there are no response at all. But even in those 3 positive responses, I had like a huge pressure to explain the company, what kind of values can bring onto the table. So it is not like this that you have to expect because you can program something that everybody will open their arms and they will say, hey, you will definitely have the job. And the last point I want to mention is like a typical point some students also have is, I'm going to college because I want to have a great time, I can spend a lot of time to make party, to hang out with friends, to hang out at the campus or whatever. So this is probably for other degrees you can achieve, it's probably true. For example, a good friend of mine, he has become teacher, so he has probably had like 2 or 3 models in a week or something, you know, so most of the time he was chilling here in Berlin at the sea, hanging out with friends. Meanwhile, I had to work. But for example, if I have to compare his degree with mine, you don't have this chance to do so because you will have to face a lot of models, especially in German. You have to be successful in most of the models, otherwise you can go to the next semester, so you have to take an extra round to achieve the credits you need or whatever, so some kind of complicated stuff. But it is not like if you study business information systems, you're gonna have like great time, you most of the time will make party, because the topics are really complex. You have to manage a lot of information in a short time. You also have to not only understand these informations, but you also have to write them down. You have to understand what kind of solutions, what kind of problems you have to face during your exams, and so on and so on. What I'm trying to tell you is that business information systems is unfortunately not a good study if you just want to chill, if you just want to hang out, because if you do so, you will face a lot of frustration during your studies, and the chances are really high that people will give up. I can talk from my own experience. During my first semester, we have been around 160 students, because it is a small university in Berlin. It's not like one of the huge ones. And during the first semester, like let's say this, after the first semester, at least 50% of the people have given up the studies. And you have to understand, for example, in Germany, each year the success rate to finish computer science, to finish business information systems, is between 15 to 20% of all the students who start their studies here in Germany. So you have to understand, this study is really complex. This study will make you definitely exhausting. You have to face a lot of frustration, but at the end, it can be definitely worth it for you if you know why you study business information systems. At the end, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, leave a like, subscribe to this channel. If you have questions, you can ask them at any time. We're gonna see you next video. Peace.